quick generate. And you can hear it's still got the same tonality, but the sound has changed. Yo, you're in the studio with Leon Switch, and today I thought we could talk about Emergent Drums 2. I was part of the beta program when they first launched and was unsure about it, if I'm totally honest with you. I think it was quite a cool concept. I like the idea behind it, but I sort of couldn't find a place for it in my workflow initially. So I kind of installed it, had a play, was okay with it. Thought initially was quite blown away, and then after a little while was a bit, I wasn't sure about it, and then I got Emergent Drums 2 and thought, oh, it deserves another look at. Like, it deserves another look at. I love the whole concept behind it. So what I've done is I then started my sample packs. I started making some new sample packs and stuff, and I thought I'd have a little bit of a deeper dive into it. And wow, really cool, really cool. So I thought what we could do today is I would show you how I approach it, how I genuinely use it now. It's got a couple of really cool functions. It is an AI drum. It's an AI drum machine basically. So it creates bass drums, snare drums, hi-hats, random noises, cymbals, anything to do with drums really, and percussion. It kind of creates it sort of on the fly for you. And it is super intelligent, super clever, and the sounds are brilliant and actually usable, which is something that a lot of synths don't have. So without further ado, let's start off. So I have literally launched Emergent Drums. You can resize the panel here, which is what I've done to get it to sit a bit nicer on the screen. The interface, is super simple, really cool. I love the whole layout of it. I think it just works. It's got a general MIDI or a GM kind of layout with the drums, which is also super handy. I come from the old school days when that's what we started with, so that's kind of natural to me. So I have that open on its own on a MIDI track. If I touch my keyboard, you can hear that's how it comes straight out of the box. So I've launched it, and that's exactly how it is. So on the left here, you've got your 16 pads, which is your different, as you can see, C2, C sharp 2, D2, D sharp 2, G sharp 1, A1. You know, these are your different keys on your keyboard. These are your different drum hits and stuff. You've got different categories here. So kick, snare, clap, snare, random, closed hi-hat, random, hi-hat, noise, glitch. So there's a whole heap of things, and you can select what you want. I quite like that kick, so we'll move on to this kick because it's not one I will ever use, so we'll start with that. And what you've got is categories for each of your different drums. You can also import your own, which is super cool, super cool. So it means you can take everything to the next level. I really love these instruments where you can use your own sounds in them and use how their engine, you know, how they work to change your own stuff. And that for me is everything. Everything is completely royalty free. That comes from this device by default, so you haven't got to worry about your tracks getting pulled from YouTube or Soundcloud or wherever because of royalty issues, copyright issues. So I'm going to keep it on kick because we're going to create another kick, and basically I'll run through these controls on the right hand side here quickly. So you've got this, you've got the waveform here, so you can see exactly what's going on with it. It adjusts real time. This display adjusts real time when you adjust the controls, which is wicked, and that's just, yeah, super cool. I love that. So this is your overall volume. This doesn't affect the way the waveform looks, as it is literally just like an output volume. Just double click to reset to default. You've then got an attack. As you can see, you can see that it adds attack onto the waveform. This is a kick drum, so we're not worried about attack. You've then got a release, and you can see that it's taking that towel off of that kick drum. In fact, here you go. Sorry, this one. Yeah, it works exactly as you expect it to work. You've then got this clip, which is aggressive. very aggressive, but it is kind of cool. So I imagine putting an 808 into there and then using that clip. It's gonna sound lovely. It's gonna have that old school distorted 808 feel about it. You've then got the filter, and the filter is actually really nice sounding. You've got, if you come up from the bottom here, you've got the high pass. So you're just losing all those low frequencies. But that's a nice sounding filter. That's a filter that I can use. And you've then got your low pass if you drag the top down. And you can hear it. It's super cool. We've then got panning left and right. Does exactly as you expect it to do, left and right. And then you've got your pitch control. So you can then pitch it down, and you can go crazy low, like there you go, 36 semitones down. So 36 semitones up. Oh, press the wrong key there, sorry about that. So if I just reset that, double click. So that's at zero semitones, so we're at the original pitch. So let's now move across to the section here again. So I've missed a button here, and that's this crunchy and creamy kind of, I don't know how it sort of sound really. So at the minute you can hear it is crunchy. Really crunchy, and that's not for me. If I turn to creamy, sorry, let it generate, it's taken that drive off of it, that crunchiness out of it, and which is more what I'm after with regards to my kick drums. Bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, so we've got like I say, the creamy, which just loses that crunch and is more how I then use my kick drums. That's how more I would be inclined to use my kick drums. So if I click the generate button here, then it allows me to generate new samples based on this slider just above. So if I give that a play, kind of grimy. Let's generate another one. Okay, so we're coming away from the kick drum here. There's two things we need to take note of here. One is this extremely cool button here, so it keeps like in memory all of your other sounds that you've created when you click the generate button. So if I go back, then we're at that previous one. If I go back again, we're at that one. And then we're back at the beginning again, and we can go all the way back through to where we were, which is super cool. So it means you can just generate a whole heap of drums, and you can then go back over them, and you can start to sort of pick out which one you like the best, you know? Really cool. So let's just generate a few more. There we go. So that's a nice sounding kick. So I'm just playing the two kicks there, as you can see by the pads highlighting. So that's my C1 kick. Nice. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll now move across to the snare. So we're going to keep those two in C and C sharp 1, and then the snare's okay. I don't hate the snare, but let's just move it. So we'll keep some of the trait of this original snare here, because I quite like the tonality of it. I quite like the actual, like the splashiness of it as it was, the punch of it. But we'll just generate something else sort of based upon this snare. So we're not now completely random. In theory, we're not going to make a completely random new noise now. It should be along the lines of what we've already got. Let's click generate. And you can hear it's still got the same tonality, but the sound has changed. Super cool. So let's try that with a little less release. So we start to lose something there. Let's try taking this clip up a touch. Okay, well we could. That might work nice if it's layered with another snare, say. So let's move on to the next one. So we'll go to clap. I don't really use claps in my tunes, in my drums, so we'll just stick it straight on the snare and we'll generate some more snares. Still sounding like a clap, so let's generate. Let's generate again. Okay. That's quite nice. So let's move on to the next snare. I don't like that one, so that's horrible. So let's get something similar to that. Let's actually come here. So they're kind of all based around that first principle. So let's go back to that first one. And let's just make it a little bit more random. You can hear it sort of taking that tonality to somewhere different. Super cool. So let's go a bit more random. Quite nice. Change the tonality again. So that's very, very, very similar. Let's just keep generating. Whoa. That's kind of cool, but not what I'm after. Right, so I've come away from where I want to be, so let's... Nice. Nice. So this next one, the randoms, I don't get on so well with the randoms, so F1. You kind of get toms out of it. I mean, let's try a couple of different, let's generate a couple of random sounds. I mean, they are very random sounds. So that's actually quite a nice hat. All right, let's go with that. Okay, that's not a nice hat, so let's just generate. And you can see that the category at the top here. Okay, it's kind of shakery. Okay, we'll go with that. All right, we've got another random here, so let's put this on a snare. Let's go hat, closed hat. Let's generate. Let's generate again. And again. And we're just going through until we find stuff that we like. You know, stuff that sort of jumps out to you, you know? Okay. Okay, I don't hate that. Okay, I don't hate that either. Okay, so just random, let's go open hat. Let's create some open hats. Sorry, I've gone to the wrong one. Let's go back. Which is cool, I like that. There we go, so that's the sound that it was. Let's go, that's fine. So random one, let's now put that on an open hat. That's not for me, let's generate. Okay, so we're getting somewhere with that. So let's bring this random in, so we're not gonna completely change this noise. Let's go similar. Maybe could be a little bit more sensitive depending on whereabouts you are on the slider, but okay, let's generate again. Let's go a bit more random again. See, I don't hate that. And there's a little bit here that we can cut off because we can bring the end point in, we can bring the start point in here. Kind of shakery. Let's try to turn the release down a touch, see what happens. Okay, so we got somewhere with that. It's not an open hat, I understand, but I don't care what it says on these, as long as the sounds are good, you know. Okay, I don't hate that as an open hat. Okay, let's get rid of this. Let's make this an open hat. And sometimes it takes a few clicks to get where you want to get, but work quite nice as a cymbal maybe. Okay, that's quite nice, I like that. Bring this endpoint in, let's try taking some of this down. And also, let's take it off of crunchy, let's try creamy. Okay, let's bring this back and turn the endpoint. Okay, there we go. Okay, we can keep that like that because once we put it in a sampler afterwards, then we can then adjust the envelopes on it. But that's a bit more open hatty, that's cool. Okay, that's not for me. I don't get on with these glitches and the noise. That's just not for me. Let's go open hat again. Let's generate. Generate. So we're a bit more like nice. Nice. Okay, let's go to the cymbal now, the next one. Let's generate some more cymbals. That was nice. There we go, got a cymbal. Yeah, not for me. Let's go cymbal. And I love the way they're different every time, you know? And some of them are very, very, very similar. But in general, there is such a variety of different, like, usable. Let's go different generator again. Usable sounds. Quite like that, because that worked quite nice pitch down. Nice. Cool. So we can do that in a sampler if we wish to. So let's move on to the next one. So we've got now like a ride. What's the next one sound? Let's generate some more of this. So that they're just slightly changing each time. It's super cool. Okay, so let's go similar to that. Here we go. It's just a very slight adjustment, like a tweak, you know? Couple more. Okay, so you've now got the options where you can now program this up using a MIDI track, or you can do how I use it, how I prefer to use it, because it just gives me a bit more control now over the samples. So you've got two options here. I've got a drum rack open on this MIDI channel here, and what I can do now is I can now either drag single samples using this button here. So if I do that, I can now drag that into a sample, and if I switch once that loads in. There we go. So once I switch to the drum rack, then I can now play. And it's exactly the same. Oh, if I come back to here, sorry. As that sample, you know. If I come back to the drum rack. Turn this on. Let's delete this out for a second. And if I drag this button here, then this grabs all 16 pads, as you can see there. And it puts all of the samples that are here along the keyboard on the drum rack in Ableton. So I can now, for me, this works brilliantly because I can now process everything differently. I know with Emergent Drums you have got separate outputs, so you can specify, you can set it up so you can use the different outputs. Once again, I just don't need that. That's not something that I need to be using. I think you can anyway. I'm sure there was a way to do that on here where you can set up different outputs. But anyway, that's not how I've been using it. So like I say, I've moved all of the samples across to a drum rack, and I've now got exactly the same. So there you go. That's the bass drum here, C1 on the in the sampler, and that is C1 on the Emergent Drums. Exactly the same noise. So C sharp, C sharp, exactly the same. Snare. You can hear they're replicas of what you've just created. So I've now made my own drum kit, and there's something so cool about that, you know, like no one else is using these exact sounds. Like they're my sounds now, and that for me that's how I work. You know, everything is created specifically for use. You know, I don't want to. I've got libraries that I make so that I've got fresh sounds all the time. You know, and I'm not using the same sounds as everybody else. I'm not into that at all. So while we've got that there, let's have a quick look and let's process a couple of bits. I mean, I know I've got the snare here. Nice. Okay, so we can start to look at the different samples individually here. So the kick drums are lovely. In fact, let's program up. Let's get rid of this so we've got a bit more real estate here, but let's just program up some drums. Let's insert a MIDI clip. Just a simple. Yeah, I'm professional. Let's consolidate that. Right, so we're just going to go for a simple like dubstep style beat. Let's turn the thing on here. So we've got all of our pads here. This is the sampler that we're playing, the drum rack. Where are we? Let's cut these down. There we go. just put a snare on each of these. Let's do the same again. Duplicate them. All right, so we can now just put a few bass drums in. I don't know, pretty random to be fair, but doesn't matter. Let's grab them, let's duplicate them across. Nice. Simple, but it'll do. Nice. Okay, so let's just grab this in. So we'll just literally, we'll go like half beats. Oh, we'll go quarters. Quarters. Nice, and you can hear how they've got the right textures, you know. Let's record that in. Crop that. Grab them, let's just quantize that. Let's turn that off for 2 seconds. Let's grab these. Although I've got a thing about a little bit of OCD there. Alright, let's try some other hats. Turn this back on. Okay, so let's try something like this. Let's move this along. Go to there. Nice. So we can bring the volume down on that. It's just plain. It's very basic, but literally just messing around. Right, so we get rid of that one. Or we could even just copy that to there. Nice. Alright, let's grab one of these here. Really simple and not particularly cool, but you know, it's kind of working. Nice, so let's just drop the volume on that. Let's just sync that a bit, make it sound a bit more natural. Right, so let's grab these. Let's duplicate that. Volume on them. Right, let's process this kit a little bit. Okay, so first things first. Let's grab the effects window open. Let's grab a compressor and we'll compress the whole kit together for a second. That's what we could do here. Where do I snare then? So we could grab all of these. We could group them, and now we could sidechain these to the bass drum and snare. We could even group these, and we'll go kick, snare, group. we'll go Sims group. So that we know where we're at. And let's now sidechain it like I said. Right, so let's sidechain this to the emergent, to the drum rack, sorry. And we will go to the kick, snare, hat, and we'll go pre. Nice. Let's try putting just a touch of reverb on this. Let's go, what is it? This is just the hats and the cymbals. It's quite nice. Go wide. Nice. Okay. So let's have a look at this snare. So we go to the kick snare group. So let's try pitching this about a little bit. There we go. Right, let's put the filter on here and let's set up a drive. Let's grab an EQ. And we can see that sort of main bottom end of it is there. We don't need this information down the bottom here, so let's shelf that and we'll go quite hard. I don't want to lose like the weight of the snare as it was, but that information down there is just uncalled for. Not affecting the sound at all. And we could just give us a touch of boost here. Give it to that bottom end, bottom mid. We could maybe drop the middle touch here a bit, and then we could just boost this top end a little bit here. I am in headphones, so I do apologise if I'm actually killing it. And killing it in not a good way, you know? That's cool. So we could bring the volume down on that a bit if we wanted to. We can balance it. And what I'm doing is I'm just checking visually on the levels here. And in the headphones it sounds fine, but I don't trust the headphones. We could bring that snare down just a little bit, maybe. There we go. And then we could bring the cymbals down a touch if we wanted to. But we could, even with the cymbals, just maybe give that a bit of an EQ. And would once again put a hard low cut on it. So what I'm listening for is a change in the sound. Once we hear a change in the sound, we can roll it back to keep it natural. So there you go. You can hear that that's now affecting those hats. If I solo those hats, here we go. There we go. So we know that we don't want any of this information below 100 Hertz at all. At any of these, you know. Okay, so around about here we start to really notice the EQ. But I'm okay with it. I think that sounds alright. Try that with the drums. Right, let's try that other kick drum. Just out of interest. So let's just select the whole channel of the kick drums. Right, we just need to have a quick look at this compressor here on the main. Oh, it's not doing anything anyway, the side chamber's on. Which is way too much. So let's bring the dry wet back. There we go. So we're getting a touch of compression here, but it's not affecting the bass drum or the snare. I know we've got a lot of dry signal coming through, but that's fine with me. We turn that off. It's a little bit more just sort of solid, you know, a bit more sort of glued. Right, let's have a look at this kick drum. Alright, let's come back. Let's try transposing it. Nice, I don't hate that. Let's grab an EQ. Let's have a little look here. So once again, let's put this on like a brick wall low end. And you can hear that it's almost giving it more bass. Turn that off. So there's all that sort of hidden low information in there that's just not nice, not needed. Nice. So we could possibly just sort of tune this a little bit with the EQ. Bring the gain down. Okay, I think that's sounding alright. Alright, let's have a look. Let's try adjusting maybe some more of these. Let's try the snares. Nice. Okay, so let's have a look at this snare. I like that. So this is this snare here. Let's go an EQ, let's grab a compressor, and let's grab a reverb. Right, let's take the side chain off my compressor. It's just on by default for me because it's how I usually use this compressor. Right, let's give it some more attack, so we let that transient properly come through. And let's take the release off. We should get a really sharp. Go. Once again, we're just bringing down that. Nice. And once again, let's grab the low end information here, shelve it. There you go, we've taken all the way up to, where are we there? 150 hertz, and we haven't killed that snare. So we consider like the fundamental here, like that bottom hit. But also, another thing to take note of is how that EQ then shaped that reverb, like the overall tone of the reverb. Let's solo this for a second. Nice. Turn that off. Quite flat. Could also try and grab some of this knock. I didn't mean to do that. 800. And we could even maybe just like kill some of this boxiness in the middle here. Let's take the Q up on there. There we go. Bring the gain down a touch. Nice. Massive potential. So there we go. That is pretty much how I've been using Emergent Drums 2. Definitely go check it out. They're a company called Audiolab, and they've got some good things going on. So yeah, 100%. I know it's on sale right this second. So for $79, I think. Bear with me just 2 seconds. I will find that out. Yes, so it's audiolab.com, and this is their website. Emergent Drums 2, Audiolab. At the moment, it's $79. I mean, you can get it for $249 after the sale ends. I'm not sure how long the sale's going on for. So if you're interested, then definitely go check it out. Go check it out. It's in my opinion, it's my one of my new ways of making drums. That's going to stay. Definitely. So yeah, once again, audiolab.com. Go check out Emergent Drums 2. I'm not affiliated with them in any way whatsoever. I don't get paid for this. They haven't. By all means, I was part of the beta program, so I got it early. But like I say, go check it out. It's well worth a look at, and it's just kits for days, copyright-free kits for days, royalty-free drums. Brilliant, much love, big up. Go check out all the socials, check out Curo Records. You get to see me, Kelly Dean, and Quizma, and some of the music we've been making. It's sounding really cool. Check out our Notan pages, and also check out my Instagram, my Facebook. However, give us a shout. Much love. I hope that was insightful and helpful. Big up. Much love.